Hi everyone, my name is Elisa and today I'm excited to share with you the research that I've been doing for my honors thesis with Dr. Anita Akai. My thesis is focused on the effects that gender and sexual orientation can have on discrimination, microaggression, and well-being of faculty members in the Department of Psychiatry here at McMaster. Previous research has shown that gender and sexual orientation bias exists in academic environments. And this bias has appeared as women faculty members experiencing more discrimination, as well as faculty members who identify as a part of sexual minority groups experiencing hostility or pressures that have to do with their sexuality. So by examining these variables within the psychiatry department at MAC, we can 1, identify whether these biases exist in the department, and 2, address these concerns by implementing targeted interventions. To do this, we used a departmental faculty survey that was conducted in 2020, and you can see to the left of the poster the number of participants surveyed in each group. For this study, we focused on 4 key areas to answer the research question. This includes the unprofessionalism that faculty witnessed, the personal experiences of unprofessionalism that they had, which was broken down into experiences of disrespect or microaggression and discrimination or abuse, topics relating to addressing unprofessionalism, such as confidence in taking action, awareness of policies and procedures, as well as training on equity and diversity and unconscious bias, and finally, their well-being. To the right of the poster, starting at the top under gender, you can see in blue are the results from running chi-square tests of independence. There was a significant difference between genders for the reports on unprofessionalism witnessed and personal experiences of disrespect and microaggression based on sex or gender. Similarly, in blue below the sexual orientation heading, we can see that there was a significant difference between heterosexual individuals and those who identified as part of sexual minority groups for witnessing unprofessionalism and experiencing unprofessionalism. The graphs in red and yellow here depict results from the survey questions on well-being, which were borrowed from an instrument known as the Maslach Burnout Inventory. These questions are broken down into 3 subscales: emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and personal accomplishment, and the scores were analyzed using the Mann-Whitney-U test. The findings showed a significant difference between genders for all 3 subscales, where women reported more emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, as well as personal accomplishment. As for sexual orientation, there were no significant differences across all 3 subscales. Other results, such as confidence levels, awareness, and training, found men reporting more confidence in taking action to address unprofessional behavior, and men were also more aware of policies and procedures within their division. As for reports of completing training in equity and diversity and unconscious bias, there was no significant difference between men and women. Between sexual orientations, there were no significant differences for confidence, awareness, and training. In conclusion, from these findings, we can see that there are gender and sexual orientation differences in the Department of Psychiatry. And when we consider the fact that women scored significantly higher on the Maslach subscales for emotional exhaustion and depersonalization, this may indicate how these experiences of unprofessionalism can translate to a worse degree of well-being. In terms of training on equity and diversity and unconscious bias, there were no differences for both gender and sexual orientation. This suggests that women and sexual minority groups experience more unprofessionalism independent of the training the faculty receive. But that doesn't mean that there isn't room for improvement from the university, because the descriptive calculations that we did showed that less than 50% of faculty received training on equity, diversity, and unconscious bias. Also, men were more confident in taking action to address unprofessionalism and were also more aware of policies and procedures within their division compared to women, which should prompt the university to consider ways of increasing equity and diversity practices or implementing explicit policies to mitigate some of these biases. Finally, it's important to note that though significance wasn't found in confidence level, awareness, training, and well-being measures for sexual orientation, we have to keep in mind that there was a limited sample of faculty from sexual minority groups and only 10 participants were analyzed. Overall, given the interdisciplinary nature of the psychiatry department, aside from applying these findings to address concerns within the department, these findings are important for better understanding of how gender and sexual orientation may affect higher education environments beyond McMaster as well. And that's all for my presentation today. Thank you so much for your interest, and I'd be happy to further discuss the research or answer any questions that you may have.